really interesting. And we see the teams.
Yes, we are back in at the last top 8 match here in the Birmingham Regional Championship. On the left-hand side of your screen, Lukas Müller running Arcanine, Gastrodon, Kartana, Tapu Koko, Porygon 2, and Gigalith. And Alex Gomez running a team of Alolan Ninetales, Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Celesteela, Snorlax, and Arcanine. And a look, before this the stream started, Sebi, we were talking about what Alex has to do here. And Alex has to find a way to be able to control the Kartana.
Yeah.
And also deal with this Gastrodon. And you imagine that Arcanine is going to be a big call for him to bring. So is Garchomp to be able to deal with the Gigalith. And also, if it's running the Ground DMZ, do some significant damage to that Gastrodon as well.
Yeah, I can see Alex going for the Snorlax because Lukas is like really lacking a fighting type attack on his team, as it seems. And I don't call myself a good as player as Alex. He's way better than me. I'm really curious if it is what he does, like bringing that Snorlax, bringing the Garchomp, bringing the Arcanine. This is what we expected. Ninetales doesn't seem like it got a good matchup against the Gigalith and only hits the Kartana for good damage. So it might not be the best option. Celesteela, on the other hand, could come in handily versus the Kartana, but let's have a look, Jay.
Final top 8 match here at the Birmingham Regional Championships. We see Tapu Koko and Kartana coming out for Lukas Müller, and Alex Gomez will be reviewing the Snorlax and Tapu Koko lead.
Oh, this is really interesting on this side. Like the Tapu Koko from Alex, I didn't see Alex playing yet in this tournament, but I really think he got the Volt Switch on that Tapu Koko. He is a player who wants to control, who wants to have switches, who wants to play mind games. So he could go just for a Volt Switch out into something like Arcanine, getting the Intimidate off the Katana. Snorlax, on the other hand, I do not know, did we see it? Whether it is Belly Drum or Curse. Curse could come in handy to get some defensive boosts against the Gigalith later on. But Lukas like really got a good lead in that Katana coming off, putting pressure on the Snorlax. This now is like scouting. Is Alex Tapu Koko running like Hidden Power Fire?
Yes.
Is Lukas Katana a Assault Vest? But he switches out into Porygon 2.
Possibly fearing that Hidden Power Fire that you mentioned just a second ago. The download boost will give a special attack boost to this Porygon 2. And the Volt Switch actually coming out from Lucas's side of the field now, doing some quite nice damage to Tapu Koko, boosted by the Life Orb and also by the Electric Terrain. And now Lukas has a pivot to be able to switch in here. He will possibly be looking to find a way to maybe lower the attack damage of that Snorlax. Maybe he's going to rely on his Arcanine here. But Arcanine is going to come in onto the field now, so it will be able to drop an Intimidate onto the Snorlax on the opposing side of the field. And Alex also, I mean, not really fearing taking fighting type damage from that Kartana there.
No, he just let it in, and Tapu Koko, that's why he didn't fear the fighting attack.
There we go.
Because he goes for the Hidden Power Fire into what was supposedly a Katana, and not setting up at all, just starting to dish out damage as soon as possible with the Snorlax. So that's why that Snorlax was in a pretty safe spot until now. Now the Arcanine came in, so it dropped the attack. Tapu Koko, this is going to be really coming down to who positions the bulky Pokemon for the late game better. Lukas wants to preserve the Katana as much as possible, but I can imagine Alex bringing Celesteela in the back and saving it for the late game when Tapu Koko from Lukas went down. So Lukas wanted to preserve that, getting it out, saving it for the late game, so it's all about information getting.
As Kartana has left the field, Tapu Koko, thinking its job is done, will actually switch out and bring an Arcanine instead. So Arcanine will drop an Intimidate onto both the opposing Pokemon, which is probably more likely to affect that Arcanine on Lucas' side of the field, who doesn't want to stick around anyway, leaves the field now and switches back into that Tapu Koko. A Toxic coming out from Porygon 2, which is very, very nice. A very nice play onto a bulky Pokemon like Snorlax. Really cuts down the usefulness, especially if it's wanting to set up. It really just puts it on a timer. Return coming out, going onto that Tapu Koko, doing a nice bit of damage, taking it just below half HP, but really, really good position there from Lucas.
So this is the plan Lucas how Lucas wants to handle the Snorlax. Getting off a Toxic, cycling those Intimidates. That's why he switched the Arcanine again out. So now Lucas is again in a cool spot where he can just Volt Switch into the Arcanine slot, getting off his own getting in his own Arcanine, getting off Intimidates again. Porygon 2 isn't threatened by Snorlax nor Arcanine at all, and can just spread out those Toxics and doing good damage.
Yeah, I imagine that Tapu Koko would want to Volt Switch into the Arcanine here, especially if Lucas has revealed he has Kartana in the back.
Yeah.
Being able to just slowly wear down the threats to it, Tapu Koko with the Hidden Power Fire, Arcanine Hidden Power Fire with the Fire-type attack damage as well, means that Lucas will be able to really just rely on Kartana to win this game.
Yeah, and we see the Arcanine from Alex switching out for his own Tapu Koko. And yeah,
there you go, Volt Switch. Oh, it's going to go into that Snorlax slot, possibly predicting a Protect onto the Arcanine there. So Tapu Koko will be able to pivot out now. And this is why Volt Switch is such an important move, especially in a fast Pokemon like Tapu Koko. It allows you to read the board position. Alex switching into a better position with his Tapu Koko there, but now Lucas can react to that, bringing in his own Arcanine and getting another Intimidate down onto that Snorlax.
Yeah, both players played really good. Like, Lucas's plan is to circle those Intimidates, get Toxics off. Like, the Porygon 2 isn't that at all at the moment. And which move was he missing?
Toxic.
Oh.
Toxic missing, and just the high horsepower going onto that Arcanine there. Super effective damage, but with the amount of Intimidates received, not doing that much damage at all. And maybe Alex might want to try and switch out his Snorlax here to firstly regain that attack damage and also reset that poison counter.
Yeah, poison counter just adds up as like, it sticks up everywhere around. The damage gets more and more and more, and you don't want to stay in on that. But I see like really where Lucas is going to, and he follows a plan. Like, he wants that Porygon to not for setting up Trick Room. He wants it to stand there, sit there like a duck, getting off those Toxics and just recover health back. And he cycles Arcanine and Tapu Koko perfectly so far.
It's just being able to soak up damage and put everything on Alex's side of the field at a disadvantage due to that Toxic. And it looks like it's working, especially against a bulky Pokemon like Snorlax there.
Yeah, it really comes in handy for Lucas there. Alex doesn't have a fighting type Pokemon, so he cannot take out the Porygon 2 in one hit. And once this happens, Porygon 2 is free to dish out the Toxics, and we see a new Pokemon, Jay.
Arcanine in the back from Alex Gomez, switching in and lowering the physical attack of the Arcanine on Lucas' side of the field, which does protect now. Volt Switch coming out again from the Tapu Koko, a safe target there from Alex there, because Porygon 2 usually do not run Protect, so more than likely able just to get the amount of damage off from the Volt Switch and now pivot and bringing in the Pokemon from the back.
I'm really curious what's coming in, because he doesn't want to send in a Steel type like Celesteela in this slot. Garchomp doesn't want to be there as well, so Snorlax makes an appearance again with a reset poison counter and a reset attack stat. And yeah, Porygon 2 wanted to cover a potential Garchomp switch in, so I really like that Ice Beam into that slot. That was really clever.
This is Lucas playing into a position where he's in control at this point in time. And
Totally.
you saw that Snorlax actually took a little bit more damage because of the special attack boost from the download on the Porygon 2 there. Really nice covering play from Lucas.
I really like how safe it's incredible. Lucas is playing against Alex Gomez, one of the best players in the world, and he is in such a demanding and controlling position with a standardish team, and he just, like, I can't even imagine that. But the matchup on the other hand for Alex is like really hard. Taking down that Porygon 2 is like really hard for Alex to manage, and his Snorlax is not able to set up much boost due to Lucas circling around a lot, so that's a really good matchup for Lucas.
Alex's Arcanine outspeeding Lucas's Arcanine there, dropping a Flare Blitz onto it and activating one of its critical berries. It's going to heal it all the way back up there. It is going to be that Margot Berry, and Arcanine on Lucas's side of the field will return a Flare Blitz now. It's going to go into that Snorlax slot, and coupled up with the Toxic damage, this could start to really hurt on that side. Recover coming out from Porygon 2 there. Another really safe play from Lucas, just making sure Porygon 2 can stick around and throw out even more Toxics.
Yeah, and Snorlax just recycles the Mega Berry, which is a really popular tactic at the moment, getting those recoveries back, and just when needed, it not pops the berry immediately, it just brings you back on held item, and as we see, when you go down below half your health thanks to Snorlax's ability, it pops. So this is gonna be really interesting. How does Alex plan to get out the Porygon 2? How does he even get past it? So it doesn't seem like he got toxic on Arcanine. We have seen
you'd imagine he would have used it already if it was available.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Alex needs that guard jump, maybe setting up or getting off some big C damage with a Tectonic Rage on the Porygon 2 to take it out. So it's his matchup for that Porygon is not good.
Yeah, and we've already said how safe Lukas is playing this. So even if Alex tries to chip down that Porygon 2 into range for a Tectonic Rage, if Garchomp is in the back, there's a high chance that Lukas will just recover it off. Speaking of going off, we actually see Arcanine leave the field, Kartana returning instead, and we see the Flare Blitz. It's going into that target as well. Really good target from Alex here. I wonder if that was a read or if he just wanted to get some chip damage onto that Arcanine, but Kartana goes down for 3 there.
So I can see where Alex is going. I'm pretty sure now that he got the Celesteela in the back. I am pretty sure now. He wants to take care of every Pokemon beside the Porygon 2, and then in the late game get a Leech Seed off and just stall out that Porygon 2. I think this is what Alex is planning after seeing that Flare Blitz into the incoming Katana. I think this is...
Yeah, also Alex just took the opportunity there to recycle the Figgy Berry on Snorlax, so if it goes down below half HP, which it will due to Toxic next turn, or any additional damage taken from any of Lucas's Pokemon, it will be able to heal back up again. But Snorlax is getting into the position where he might be forced to switch once again, and Lukas can start to wonder about what the Pokemon is in the back for Alex and figure out a game plan to put himself in a position to deal with it.
Yeah, he needs to preserve that Arcanine. He needs all the Tapu Koko. Yeah, you need something against the Celesteela, and this is how Celesteela is played. You take care of those Arcanines, those Tapu Kokos, and then you're sitting in a really good position. So I'm really curious if Lukas sees that coming, and I'm really curious if Alex is really planning this.
Well, with Arcanine at such low HP on Lucas's side, on Alex's side of the field, and Tapu Koko in electric terrain, there's a lot of damage coming Alex's way. Even if Lukas decides to target that Snorlax as well with a mixture of toxic damage, it's going to be right back down towards half HP again after activating that berry.
Well, when Tapu Koko targets the Arcanine on Alex's side, it probably go down to a high horsepower from the Snorlax. So Alex doesn't desperately need that Snorlax after it has taken out that Tapu Koko, because he just wants to position.
Helping hand coming out from the Arcanine, and this is something that we've seen a lot over this weekend. Tapu Koko is going to be protecting itself here. Has Snorlax targeted down that Tapu Koko slot? We will find out after Porygon 2 launches an Ice Beam into that Snorlax. It's going to take it down just above half HP, and the high horsepower does go into Tapu Koko. A really, really safe protect from Lukas there.
That protect was really clever. Like that helping hand again, like was really clever from Alex as well, because that Arcanine was about to go down to a Thunderbolt, and helping hand got a higher priority. It moves first, so he could secure the knockout on the Tapu Koko with that one. So this was really clever on both sides of the field. This is gonna be like a really interesting end game. So
if Tapu Koko Volt switches out, deals some damage to the Snorlax, brings in the Arcanine in the back, intimidates it again, even if the helping hand comes out from the Arcanine, it should be able to survive. But Lukas really needs to take a knockout here on that Arcanine. Arcanine could put a lot of his plans out of whack, especially with adjusting the damage output using helping hand.
But he doesn't want to switch in that Arcanine, because he wants to preserve it for the late game, and we see the extreme speed, not taking it out, and we see the Thunderbolt from Tapu Koko into Arcanine. So Arcanine on Alex's side is gone, but Tapu Koko takes itself out in return thanks to the recall from Life Orb. And Porygon 2 goes for an Ice Beam, chipping away some damage from Snorlax. this all adds up, but Snorlax sitting there comfortably recycling the berries, and Lukas has to send in now the Arcanine and has to preserve it for a potential Celesteela in the back.
Also, it's just really interesting to see how these trainers may be using different Pokemon, but both of Snorlax and Porygon 2, the bulky normal types, sitting there being able to soak up a load of damage and just shrug it off with either the berry or the recover. Arcanine will hit the field now for Lukas, dropping an Intimidate onto that Snorlax and the opposing Tapu Koko from Alex Gomez. We still do not know the final Pokemon on Alex's side of the field. Snorlax is now at -1 attack once again, and Lukas has to really think about where his damage needs to go. Tapu Koko in electric terrain will be doing a lot of damage here, and Arcanine will not be safe.
No, not at all. Lukas doesn't want to set up Trick Room, because then Snorlax would move first. So Lukas is really down, and let's see, it is the Celesteela. Alex switches up the Snorlax for the Celesteela coming in.
Yeah, and a good protect from Lukas there, just to make sure that his one answer to Celesteela is still around. Thunderbolt must go into that Arcanine slot just to make sure it gets rid of it, and the end game for Alex is secure. Ice Beam into Tapu Koko. It is +1 special attack. This is extreme speed range.
Oh, that play was really good. That Ice Beam was really good from Lukas. He got that. He got what he needed. Tapu Koko is now in extreme speed range. Celesteela cannot take out the Arcanine. Like, this is really interesting now.
This is a game between two of probably the best players in Europe. Like, Lukas Müller is on a hot streak. We have said this before, and the way that he is playing, the backwards and forwards momentum that we are seeing between these two trainers is phenomenal. Arcanine will launch an extreme speed into the Tapu Koko, picking up the knockout there, and the one option that Alex had to be able to deal with this Arcanine comfortably is gone. Leech Seed onto the Porygon 2 is going to hit, and will be able to allow Celesteela to get a little bit of healing each turn. Ice Beam coming out from the Porygon 2 into that Celesteela there. Not picking up a freeze, showing the leftovers, and then a little bit more extra healing from Leech Seed after this.
This was like really, I can just applaud for that Ice Beam into that slot. What I don't, I'm pretty unsure, Jay. Would have the Snorlax fainted if it stayed in? Thanks to the poison damage, I'm really unsure. So
I think it would have survived with only a little bit left. The amount of damage from the Toxic was getting significantly bigger. I think it might have either just knocked out or just survived.
Yeah. So now Alex is down to 2 Pokemon, so is Lukas. Alex got Celesteela and Snorlax. We have already seen the high horsepower from the Snorlax. Snorlax really wants to target the Arcanine. Arcanine didn't protect last turn. Porygon 2 just sits there against Celesteela, not being able to do anything. That's why Celesteela just Leech Seeded Porygon 2 first to secure to get off the Leech Seed onto the sitting duck. And he wants to take that Arcanine out with the Snorlax using high horsepower, and we see Celesteela going for a Heavy Slam.
Yeah, starting to wear down that Porygon 2. The Ice Beam is actually going to go onto the Snorlax here, so targeting down the Pokemon surrounding Celesteela. A Recycle coming out from Alex, and so when the poison damage adds up and takes it down below half HP, he'll be able to recover once again. Celesteela going back up to full HP using the leftovers and just draining a little bit more HP from that Porygon 2 and forcing Lukas to start thinking about having to recover.
Yeah, so we're gonna see the berry probably. Yeah. Just below to pop the berry. So Snorlax now wants to target that Arcanine. That Arcanine, when it goes for a Flare Blitz into Celesteela, I am pretty sure that Alex trained his Celesteela to just stand that attack. So he will get healed back from Leech Seed leftovers, and if he manages to get off a second Leech Seed onto the Arcanine, and I'm pretty sure the Arcanine goes down to Flare Blitz, Leech Seed. Recall, did it already pop the berry?
It has already popped the berry. So instead we see the Protect coming out from Celesteela here, not wanting to take that Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz will target down that slot accurately. Ice Beam going to go into that slot as well. It needed to double up if it was able to survive. High horsepower coming out from Snorlax, doing some significant damage to Arcanine. 9 HP remaining, and the Leech Seed coming out from Porygon 2, draining it once again. Arcanine really has to make the most of this Flare Blitz this turn.
Yeah, this is gonna be really interesting. If Arcanine is able to take out that Celesteela, this is going to be like really close. It all comes down to how did Alex train his Celesteela and how did Alex train his Arcanine.
Yep, this is going to be a really tight finish to this first game here in the final top 8 match. Flare Blitz coming out from the Arcanine. Will this pick up the knockout on Celesteela? It will not pick up the knockout. Lukas Müller losing his Arcanine to Recall here. Celesteela still sticking around. Snorlax on the other as its partner on Alex's side of the field. Heavy slam coming out from Celesteela onto that Porygon 2, taking it down into the red. 21 HP left. The recover coming out from Porygon 2, going to push it all the way back up over half HP. Snorlax now in a position where it can just recycle its berry and stick around for even longer.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we're going to see like a really long game now, or if we're going to see a quick forfeit or something, but there's still chances, like Porygon 2 could potentially freeze the Celesteela, and Celesteela could stay frozen for like several turns, and Alex gets and Lukas gets off some damage with Ice Beam. This is going to be interesting.
Lukas has to. I think Lukas probably wants to put himself in a position where he's just constantly recovering. Snorlax will be losing health each turn because of Toxic, but then he has to worry about the Recycle as well. Instead, Celesteela going for the heavy slam, putting Porygon 2 down at 43 HP. Ice Beam going to go into that Celesteela slot. It is a special attack boost because of the download. Takes Celesteela just above the red. Return coming out from the Snorlax. It will pick up the knockout here, and Alex Gomez takes game 1 here in the top 8 of the Birmingham Regional Championships, and he is 1 win away from moving over to the top 4.
Again, this is crazy. Like, Alex made a really good plan. I didn't see it coming.
He executed it well. He executed it really well. We were obviously wondering ourselves what that last Pokemon in the back would be. We assumed it might be Garchomp to be able to throw out some big damage, but especially when Lukas brought both Tapu Koko and Arcanine, and Alex brought Celesteela in the back. Really, really well played from him.
Yeah, it was like he had such a high-end game plan. Like, he knew what to do. He knew I cannot show Celesteela because Lukas would adapt his game plan. So that was like really clever. He didn't want it to touch the Porygon at all. He was like, okay, I'm gonna take care of it later on with a Leech Seed one-on-one because it cannot take it out. So this was a really clever plan. In the beginning of the game, Lukas was in a really good position. He was controlling the match. He could cycle those Intimidates, handle the Snorlax really well, putting it on a timer, not letting it set up. But it was just a trick.
Oh, it was a bit of misinformation on Alex's side, and it paid off in a big way.
Yeah.
And if you're Lukas, do you feel like you need to adjust here? Like, he had a really strong amount of momentum moving in for the first 2/3 of the match. It was only really towards the end where Alex managed to position himself in a way that he kept Snorlax healthy and being able to soak up the damage. And Lukas gave up Kartana for free.
He gave up Kartana for free, but we have to applaud on the play from Alex. Like, he did a really good read there, and I think Lukas didn't expect it. Lukas, like, he didn't play badly. He had a really good plan. He now knows what's happening. Like, he needs to preserve the Tapu Koko and the Arcanine a bit better to have a way to deal with Celesteela. I know he needs those cycling Intimidates to have a way to handle these Snorlax. So I think we don't see Pokemon switch-ups that much from Lukas. Maybe Alex goes another way and goes for Garchomp or something. Now he revealed that he brought Celesteela.
Especially as Lukas might have to adjust his game plan and try and preserve that Arcanine and Tapu Koko, and Garchomp is a perfect answer to that. We are ready. Game 2, the final top 8 match to decide who will join the rest of our competitors in the top 4 here at the Birmingham Regional Championships. Alex Gomez has revealed on his side of the field Snorlax and Tapu Koko. Lukas Müller is using Tapu Koko and Porygon 2.
This is really interesting. Again, Lukas leads off with Tapu Koko and Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is pretty much free to start getting off those Toxics, so he wants to put the Snorlax on a timer. Alex could only eat the Toxic with the Celesteela thanks to its Steel typing, but Celesteela does want to switch in when there's a Tapu Koko on the opposing field, so Lukas did a good lead here. That Tapu Koko isn't threatening at all neither his own Tapu Koko nor the Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is free to start off Toxicking. He may want to preserve his own Tapu Koko.
A lot of players are trying out this lead combination of Tapu Koko and Porygon 2 because it offers so many different options, especially if Porygon 2 knows Trick Room or has Toxic as well. Tapu Koko on Lucas' side of the field, instead of going for one of the many offensive options we've seen trainers use here, is just going to protect instead. A safe Volt Switch coming out from Alex Gomez going into that Porygon 2, doesn't really reveal Protect, usually doesn't hold Protect at all, so he gets to pivot now and bring in a Pokemon to try and put some work in against Lucas's 2, which is going to be Arcanine.
And I think we're gonna see out of like how Alex deals with Porygon 2 this time, what he brought in the bag. If he tries to get it down as soon as possible, it may be the Garchomp, but Lucas expecting it and going for an Ice Beam into the Arcanine.
And the high horsepower going into that Tapu Koko there, just trying to get a bit more damage down, maybe revealing that Alex is quite concerned about how that Tapu Koko is positioned on the field at the moment.
Yeah. Lucas still expecting the Garchomp coming in, since it's a good pick against him. Like it really does damage to Tapu Koko and Arcanine, and is immune to the Thunderbolts and resists the Flare Blitz. So it would be an obvious pick, but this is Alex Gomez, and he got like super solid plans again. And as we could see, I think he got again the Celestina in the back because it worked out for the first match.
And so Lucas has taken one turn to be able to try and throw out some damage into a possible oncoming Garchomp. Maybe this is a turn that he wants to start throwing Toxics down onto that Snorlax. Arcanine immediately leaving the field in favor of that Tapu Koko that was just Volt Switching out. Tapu Koko on Lucas' side of the field now will do its own Volt Switch into the Snorlax, which we probably can assume doesn't have Protect as well. And again, Lucas gets the opportunity to pivot now, bringing in his own answer to this, which will be the Gigalith.
Ooh, this is interesting. Gigalith coming in. Is Lucas gonna set up the Trick Room after Volt switching out? Snorlax going for a high horsepower into the Gigalith slot. It's super effective, but doesn't do that much damage, and yeah, there we go. So Lucas follows a different plan this time. He goes for his Trick Room mode, setting up the Trick Room, bringing Gigalith in basically for free. It's still open to take another high horsepower. It will not take it out in this case, so this was really clever by Lucas.
Yes, but if Lucas goes for the Rock Slide, which you imagine he would want to try and get as much damage as possible out onto Alex's side of the field, Snorlax will be able to actually have its berry activated and heal all the way back up. Maybe Alex wants to try and start lowering the attack damage of Gigalith by bringing in Arcanine for an Intimidate, but that would then take super effective damage.
Yeah, this really comes down to what is the end game plan on both ends of the field. We didn't see the fourth Pokemon of neither player, so it's really interesting what the plans are gonna be. Lucas tries to be more aggressive this time. He wants to dish out damage as soon as possible. He wants to preserve his Tapu Koko for the maybe Celestina in the back. He preserves the Gigalith by protecting,
and throws out the Ice Beam into the Tapu Koko slot, doing a significant amount of damage, taking it down to just below half HP, and the Tapu Koko attacking into the Protect of Gigalith there.
So this was again a really clever play by Lucas. He used Ice Beam into the Tapu Koko slot to bring it down into Rock Slide range. I think Tapu Koko is not able to take a Rock Slide from this half, and especially not when Porygon 2 decides to go offensive again. We've seen the Ice Beam damage already. So, and it's gonna be interesting if that Snorlax avoids some flinches here and there, and even if it doesn't, Alex has to decide, is it better to recycle, to stall out the Trick Room, is it better to get rid of the Gigalith as soon as possible?
Well, we haven't actually seen what the item on the Gigalith is, so we know that it's not weakness policy, and he has protected, so there isn't a choice band or anything like that, so we might be seeing one of those critical health berries, or maybe even a Rockium Z. Snorlax is going to leave the field now, Celestina replacing it instead, Tapu Koko switching out as well, and Arcanine coming in now, going to drop an Intimidate onto this Gigalith and just mitigate the amount of damage that it can deal. Gigalith again in a position where it could just throw out some Rock Slides here, get some nice damage going, and it will do that. So targeting down both Pokemon here, Arcanine going down to just below half HP, Celestina taking a little bit of damage there, and the recover coming out from Porygon 2. Lukas has shown before how important this Porygon 2 is to him.
Yeah, it is definitely a key member in his team. It helps against offensive teams by setting up Trick Room and helping Gigalith being the fastest Pokemon in the field, and versus defensive teams he got the Toxic and put every Pokemon on a timer. And Alex, it seems like he decided to just adapt his game plan in the middle of the game. He's like, okay, I'm gonna need you later on, Snorlax. So you might be my new win condition this time.
Yes, yeah, a good adjustment from Alex there, making sure that he can bring Celesteela in case Porygon 2 wanted to go for a Toxic onto that Snorlax, but also just keeping it healthy, keeping the berry around for later on in the game. I'm wondering if Arcanine would be able to survive a Rock Slide here. I think it just did a little bit over what the HP that Arcanine has left here. I'm really interested to see if it will be able to survive. Gigalith, Porygon 2 instead actually going to switch out now. Arcanine from Lukas coming in and will drop an Intimidate onto both of the Pokemon on Alex's side of the field, lowering their physical attack.
Yeah, that switch-in was pretty much free. Neither Celesteela nor Arcanine threatening that slot. So that switch-in was really free, and Alex preserves his own Arcanine by switching in his Snorlax in the same slot. Lukas really plays it kind of interesting. I've seen him protecting twice in Trick Room, which is only set up for his Gigalith. So it's really interesting that he didn't want to take damage, he didn't want to get burned from Arcanine, he didn't want to get leech-seeded from Celesteela. So this is...
It's a very tactical game at this point in time. Alex doing a nice job to be able to bring his Snorlax in without taking any damage and just activating the berry via the Sandstorm. Again, you mentioned that the Gigalith has protected twice in this Trick Room. Trick Room is almost done.
Yeah.
And we will have to see how Lukas will be able to position his Gigalith outside of Trick Room, maybe wanting to switch it out and not take any sort of heavy slams from the Celesteela or a target from the Snorlax and the high horsepower. A nice position from Alex to put the Leech Seed down onto the Porygon 2 slot, so starting that endgame part early. But Lukas bringing in the Arcanine here does mean that Celesteela has to worry about taking some massive damage.
Celesteela definitely has to worry, but that Snorlax switch in from Alex was really clever. Arcanine is on the field, so it cannot switch in and lower its attack. And on the other hand, Porygon 2 is not on the field, so Snorlax does threaten a Toxic, and what do we gonna see?
So that was a miss on the Rock Slide on the Snorlax there. Celesteela taking a little bit of damage. Recycle coming out from Alex Gomez's Snorlax. The Figgy Berry being recovered, and a flinch coming out from Celesteela. Flare Blitz will target down this Celesteela now, and it's going to do some massive damage. It will not pick up the knockout though, only a little bit of HP remaining, and a lot of recoil going on to that Arcanine. The Sandstorm finally subsides now, and Trick Room should end.
So this is again like super interesting. Lukas preserves his Porygon 2 for the end game, and he wants to take down that Celesteela just to be able to win the game. Alex saw that coming, so he wanted to switch the Snorlax in as soon as possible to get those boosts and to be able to knock out the Porygon 2 once it comes in again. So it's gonna be really interesting if Alex keeps the Snorlax thing and tries to set up and be able to knock out the Porygon 2 when it comes back in. And on the other hand, he can just try to get Celesteela back to some health where it is out of Ice Beam range to have like 2 possible win conditions and adapting depending on how the game goes on.
This is such an interesting game we have for you. Game 2, top 8 here at the Birmingham Regional Championships. Arcanine leaving the field, Porygon 2 replacing it now. Going to be in a position where it can get a download boost off. This should boost the attack of the Porygon 2 there. Celesteela is going to withdraw as well, and Arcanine coming in once again to lower another Intimidate onto that Gigalith, now at -2.
Yeah, if this Snorlax from Alex got Belly Drum, and he Belly Drummed in this exact turn, this was an amazing round for him. And let's have a look what Alex does, because the Porygon 2 would then be in range for an attack from Snorlax.
Hey!
So, oh, there it is.
There it is, the belly drum coming out from Alex Gomez, and it will take it down to just below half HP. but it will max out its attack, and there goes the Figgy Berry activating once again. And this is such a powerful combination that we've seen from multiple trainers all across the world. And Alex Gomez has finally put himself in a position where he can start really damaging that Porygon 2. But the switch into the Tapu Koko for Lucas is nice here. He does threaten some big damage in electric terrain. Arcanine is very scared of a Thunderbolt and being knocked out here, but he needs Lucas needs to find a way to deal with this boosted Snorlax. And this is one of the things that Snorlax has going for it. It's so bulky and can soak up a lot of damage. If Alex manages to survive this turn and recover the berry, get another berry behind it, he's a bit safer to start throwing out more damage.
It's gonna be really interesting. I'm really curious if Alex is trying to get rid of the Tapu Koko, and again following the same end game plan with a different route to go. Like, he could take out the Tapu Koko now and getting aggressive, not going for recycle like we have seen several times in stream, just to be able to end the game with Celesteela.
This might be the calls. We actually see the Volt Switch going from the Tapu Koko into that Snorlax. So Lukas making sure to keep his Tapu Koko around for just a little bit longer. It will be allowing him to position himself in a better way now. We have not seen Lucas's final Pokemon, but coming in for him, he needs to find a way to deal with this Snorlax pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm really curious if Lukas again brought the Katana.
Oh, it's actually the Arcanine that's going to be coming in on the field. Oh, we have seen Arcanine, of course.
Seen it.
That's my bad, guys. So Arcanine will come in and lower Snorlax's attack, but it's still boosted incredibly high. Celesteela is going to get a physical attacks drop as well. Snorlax taking an Ice Beam from this Porygon 2, and the freeze. That is heartbreaking, especially as it does not fall out this turn, and one of the major threats on Alex's side of the field rendered useless for this turn.
Oh, the freeze! This is gonna be crucial if that Snorlax just stays in frozen. Like, Lukas did a really good job. He went for Volt Switch to preserve the Tapu Koko for later. Once he saw the Celesteela switching in, he was like, okay, I'm gonna give you Arcanine.
Yeah, Arcanine's an easy choice.
Yeah, so the freeze definitely helped out. So Lukas he knew, like, if I Toxic the Snorlax, it's already belly drummed. So let's go for Ice Beam. Try to fish for the freeze, because then I'd be in a really good position and getting some chip damage off, and Snorlax not being able to recycle the Figgy Berry is really huge. Celesteela is in not a comfortable position.
Especially now that Tapu Koko is hitting the field once again, threatening some big electric type damage onto the Celesteela. Instead, Arcanine will be coming in that Celesteela slot, and will be dropping an Intimidate down onto both of Lucas's Pokemon, not really mattering in his position. We need to see if this Snorlax is going to unfall here. This is a really crucial part of Alex's game plan. Another Ice Beam going into that Snorlax, again adding a bit more cold to it, and it still remains frozen. Really, really tough couple of turns for Alex Gomez.
This is really tough. I think that Snorlax might even be in range for a life or boosted Thunderbolt from the Tapu Koko. So is definitely Arcanine. This is gonna be really interesting. Now, Alex's plan got blown away, or either frozen.
Yes, frozen in time for sure. Snorlax here in range of a boosted Life Orb. Thunderbolt, as you said, Sebi, and also Arcanine as well. So Lukas has his pick of what to do here, but we've seen that Snorlax usually do not carry Protect, so he might just feel safe to remove that massive threat from Alex's side of the field. A forfeit coming out there. Alex thinking, okay, it's too much to come back from here. Maybe I just need to reset, get my position again, and take this into Game 3 where I can come back a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, you are definitely right. Again, he had a really good plan. He set up that Snorlax in a perfectly manner. He got the time correctly when he had to send it in. Porygon 2 was gone, Arcanine was on the field, so this was the perfect time to send it in, and then he set up the belly drum, played himself in a really good position. But Lukas, as another good player, knows playing for outs is a big thing in Pokemon, and if he knows, okay, there are 2 or 3 ways to win this game, and one way to win this game is to get a freeze with Ice Beam onto the Snorlax, he goes for it.
And he gets it. And I think it was quite brave of Alex to throw the forfeit out there and not just try I mean, because obviously when you're in a winning position and it gets taken away from you, it is quite mentally taxing. Yeah. And I think it was very brave of Alex just to say, hey, okay, this game is done. I just need to make sure that I'm okay for game 3. Don't worry about what could have been and just push forward. He had a good, strong game plan. We've seen that. And now we need to see if he can try and execute it again.
I didn't expect that at all. I just wanted to start to talk with you about, okay, how has Alex to adjust, like just to get back to shrug off the freeze shock and stuff like that. So, yeah, I haven't seen such an early forfeit in a match, but yeah, Alex knows what to do. He had the plan ready. He was on the winning streak again, but yeah.
Well, let's talk a little about Lukas and his adjustments that he made last time. He dropped the Kartana and came for the Gigalith, something that's a lot bulkier and also allows him to have a bit more of an offensive streak under Trick Room. Do you think he needs to stay with this? Do you think he expects Alex to start switching things up?
No, I don't expect Alex to switch things up, and I think Lukas doesn't expect him neither. So Kartana stays at home because you have seen the hidden power on Tapu Koko, which should be a hidden power fire. Alex got the Arcanine, Alex got the Celesteela, and now he saw the plan from Alex. Kartana isn't a good pick, in my opinion.
Well, we'll have to see what these trainers are going to value here in the final game of top 8. One of these players will be moving through to the top 4 here at the Birmingham Regional Championships. Lukas Müller is just managing to claw his way back into this game. Arcanine Tapu Koko for him and Arcanine Tapu Koko for Alex.
And we just heard that the timer for this match is on 9 minutes. So look down, guys. This could, if it lasts like long enough, we could go into the... How is the exact expression, Jay?
It would go into sudden death.
Sudden death, yeah.
So we would go into the endgame scenario in which both players would have 3 extra turns to try and gain an advantage. If both players still have the same number of Pokemon at the end of that game, at the end of that turn, sorry, then we'll go down to the HP number that they have. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see which of these players will be able to put themselves in the position to win if that is the condition that they're going for.
Yeah, it's really interesting since both players got their bulky normal type Pokemon. Lukas got the Porygon 2, Alex got the Snorlax. For those just jumped in, I want to recap the teams. We got Ninetales, Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Celesteela, Snorlax, and Arcanine on Alex's side, and Arcanine, Gastrodon, Kartana, Tapu Koko, Porygon 2, Gigalith on Lukas Müller's side. So we have already seen 2 matches, and we have seen the game plan from both players. So Alex withdraws his Arcanine in favor of a Snorlax, brings it in safely where it cannot get intimidated, cannot get a poison off, and isn't even targeted by Lukas's Tapu Koko. So Snorlax coming in for free is a really good play there from Alex.
And another Volt Switch coming out from Alex's Tapu Koko. We've seen both these players really valuing that move to be able to adjust their ball position here. And Snorlax coming in for free is really, really nice. High horsepower, doing a lot of damage against both of these Pokemon. And being able to get that Arcanine in once again and lower the Arcanine on Lucas's side of the field down to -2 attack is super, super nice.
Yeah, Alex just played it really good. He threats the knockout onto Lukas's Tapu Koko. Lukas wants to preserve either Tapu Koko or Arcanine, so Alex brought himself into a position where he threatens both answers to Celesteela. So this is really good, and Snorlax still could set up a belly drum and be a win condition on its own. So Alex is preparing like several ways to win this match, and Lukas is now in the reaction phase where he has to avoid mistakes at any cost.
With only 6 minutes left on the clock, Alex setting up a belly drum here could spell some real trouble for Lukas. We're going to have to see how these players are adjusting. Alex is taking his time thinking through this turn, and he really should.
Yeah, he really should, and he knows that he is gonna be the one getting the first knockouts. So
the Protect coming out from the Tapu Koko here, avoiding any damage this turn. No high horsepower going into there. Extreme speed coming out from Lukas's side of the field, wanting to remove the Tapu Koko and revealing the Will-O-Wisp on his Arcanine, which will go onto that Snorlax and burn it. Are we going to see the belly drum here? No, the high horsepower instead, targeting down that Tapu Koko. A missed opportunity there.
I wouldn't call it a missed opportunity. Lukas just played perfectly. He have been hiding the Will-O-Wisp all the time, and now he got it off onto the Snorlax, especially now that it really matters. It denies Snorlax getting those early knockouts, especially when we look at the clock ticking down. So this was really good. He preserved the Tapu Koko, doesn't want his Pokemon to go down. He probably is gonna go and switch it out to preserve it. He doesn't want to let his Pokemon go down that early, and Arcanine may still stay in even though it's intimidated twice, but it doesn't fear a knockout at the moment.
Yes, and with Tapu Koko in range for a possible extreme speed, depending on how Alex's Arcanine is trained, he probably just wants to switch it out here, but instead we're going to see the Arcanine coming in for the Kartana. Kartana's back on the field, so Lukas going back to one of the tactics that he used in the previous game. Arcanine will drop the extreme speed, does not pick up the knockout, only 22 HP remaining on the Koko as it switches out now into with using the Life Orb, only 8 HP now, but finally getting it back into safety.
And this is going to be really interesting. Like, Lukas brought his Kartana, which we didn't expect to come, but is a really good pick in the matchup as well. He brought it in safely now, not in danger, and he could just start second sorting the Snorlax. And yeah, it's really interesting who will take the lead Pokemon-wise. The Kartana is able to take that high horsepower from the Snorlax so well, and that Arcanine might be in range for a Helping Hand Sacred Sword.
This is something that Alex will have to think about here. His Snorlax is heavily neutered, burned, and also a -1 attack from that incoming Arcanine from Lukas' side of the field. Kartana needs to be either deal with this Snorlax quickly before being knocked out by Arcanine, or protect itself just to make sure that it doesn't lose instantly to a Flare Blitz like it did in the first game. It'd be interesting to see what sort of item Lukas is carrying on his Kartana. If it's a Z move, it might be a good opportunity to try and use that, especially if it's got a Helping Hand on his Arcanine here. But Kartana usually does not want to be facing down against that Arcanine. We're going to see that Alex is switching out once again. Celesteela coming in onto that Arcanine slot now, and Kartana will just drop a substitute. Really great play from Lukas here, not fearing the Flare Blitz at all, and because of the fact that he can just keep that substitute and let it go down, only 25% of his health. Flare Blitz going into that Celesteela, doing massive damage there. Arcanine taking huge recoil, and with Snorlax so heavily neutered here, not going to be able to pick up the knockout onto Arcanine. Look how much damage that does, Sebi. That's really, really low amounts of damage. But more importantly, if you look at Snorlax, still on the field, still really healthy, and there's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
That 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, but Lukas made the plays. He totally knew what was coming. He saw the Celesteela switch in. He knew that he was free to set up sword stance. That was like amazing. So
substitute.
And yeah, I meant sorry,
cool,
Jay.
yeah.
I meant
I was
sorry,
like,
guys.
did I miss something? No, but the substitute here is super, super impressive. He's safe from the Celesteela, safe from the Arcanine, and puts down a lot of pressure. If he's got a Z move, use it. He needs to pick up a knockout now.
And that Snorlax doesn't do any damage at all. That reminds me of those Route 3 Rattatas going for tackle. So Arcanine is free to get off damage. Kartana is free to get off damage and still got a substitute. So when Alex sends in his own Arcanine, it doesn't help lowering Kartana's attack. So Lukas brought himself in a really good position.
Big turn, big turn. So we're going to see a Z move. It's going to be the all-out pummeling. Titanium Z activating on this Kartana. And Celesteela has just protected itself here. So if it's going into that slot, it will take reduced damage. If it's going into the Snorlax, it's going to do a huge amount.
If not taking it out in one hit, I'm really curious.
Here we go. Snorlax is taking a huge amount of damage from this Kartana. This should pick up the knockout from this range. It does. Lukas Müller has taken the advantage here with only 1 minute left. If he can keep his Pokemon healthy, he will win this game.
Yeah, that Kartana behind a substitute with a raised attack, and Arcanine on the field threatening a knockout on the Celesteela. Lukas brought himself in such a good position. It's incredible. Like, this is why Lukas is on fire right now. He does the plays against one of the best players in the world. That substitute was amazing. And yeah, guys, I know that those two players are way better than we are. I did question the Katana in the matchup, but no, I have to say Lukas is right. He did the right choice by bringing it in this time, and it works out perfectly.
That Will-O-Wisp onto the Snorlax was inspired, and
Yeah.
it really allowed him to have a bit more flexibility in this matchup. Alex has to bring in Tapu Koko here to set up the electric terrain. We are down to only 13 seconds left in this game. Tapu Koko will be the fastest thing on the field, but cannot touch the Kartana through the substitute. It will have to break it first. Arcanine in a position where it could be knocked out by Thunderbolt in electric terrain. If Lukas wants to go for a Sacred Sword onto that Celesteela, it's in range to do some big damage there, but we are down to the final turns now. So we have hit 0 on the clock, and these guys have 3 turns in which to try and win this game.
Oh, this is super exciting. It's such a close match. It's like still Lukas is in a favorable position here by far. Kartana threats the Tapu Koko. If Tapu Koko goes for...
The match was forfeited. Lukas Müller has taken this game. Alex did not want to play that out. Heart in the mouth kind of match, Sebi. Heart in the mouth.